Good afternoon and welcome to this week's CSM update. I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing most of you guys up in Sacramento next week on Monday and Tuesday. I wanted to start off this week with some recognition. This week I wanted to call out Eunice Garcia. She's just been working so hard since she came back to try to assist the LCSM team with setting up some short-term and long-term solutions to a lot of the challenges that the local CSMs have been facing. So if you're going to be there on Monday for the CSM section, you'll hear more about some of the stuff that Eunice and I have been working on to try to alleviate some of the challenges we're having with overwork in some areas and vacation coverage in other areas. And there's definitely some opportunities for us to get that going to improve things for you. So thank you, Eunice, so much for your work on that. Also, a couple tips for you guys. If you haven't checked it out already, I did get everyone access to the Enterprise Secure File Transfer System. I think it's called ESFT. But anyways, long story short, you got something big to send to customers, over 10 megabytes or so. This is almost as easy as using Microsoft Outlook. So I attached some instructions to the written version of this. But basically, just click on the link, log in, hit the compose button to write an email just like you'd write any other email. And when you pick a big, huge file, it'll just send the customer a link. And that way they can click on the link and get the file. Also, another neat tip that I came across, if you're ever searching on any website, but in particular, I sometimes have a hard time finding stuff on pge.com. If you actually go to google.com, you can type in whatever it was you're going to search for on pge.com, and then right after the words of what you're searching for, you put in quotes, site, and then www.pge.com. And what it's going to do is use the Google search engine to just search the PG&E webpage or any other webpage that you put in there. So take a look. It actually works really well. I kind of wish we just used that for our own search engine, but maybe one day. As for action items, unfortunately, we keep seeing issues that are closed without being completed. So I've got instructions on that, but I really need everyone to make every effort to complete those issues and then close them. It's especially critical for all the issues where it was submitted to us from a rep and we need to check in with the customer to make sure they're okay with the resolution before we close it. But as we've talked many, many times, the completion date is what we're using for the time frame on the issues that you spend working on them. So for this year, it's really good that we get a benchmark going of how long it takes us to complete issues. And that way, for all the issues you do, where the reps are closing them, you're not penalized if it takes them a while to do that. As for job aids, we've got 3 job aids that I moved from draft over to the work planning guide, and so I've got a link to that. And thanks Rebecca, Joanne, and Anita for working on those. If either of the 3 of you or anyone else has some draft work planning guides that you received updates to, and so you maybe got some suggestions on how to improve it, just send the updated version my way and I'll be sure to upload that, and the link will stay the same in the work planning guide. A couple quick reminders. You may or may not have noticed, but there's a couple things that changed on the issues module. And so I put in the description and some bullets on things that were updated. One is we give you more room in the issue resolution box so you can write more stuff about what happened as part of the resolution. 2 is it is now a requirement to put in labor time for entering how much time it takes you on an issue. And kind of as a best practice, I know we'd said, you can wait till the end to put in labor time, or you can do it as you go. I kind of think it's easiest if you just put in a little bit of time as you go. So if you do another half hour, just now they're 0.5 to whatever it said for labor time as you're working on that issue. We added an optional labor field for the CRMs for some of the stuff they do to track their time on issues as well. We added quite a few more issue types in billing. And then we've now added some more causes of the issue. There's a drop down that says cause of issue, and that's something that I submitted this request quite a while ago. It's taken about 3 months, but we want to kind of start tracking software issues versus hardware issues versus human performance versus training versus process itself. So please use those if it's applicable. Obviously, if it's a regular request like a usage history request, it's not really a failure, it's just a request. But for those issues you get that are a failure of some sorts, please try to use those buttons if you can. Also, I really haven't had a chance to test it yet, but they put it in production. The clone button used to just clone an issue exactly as is, and then you'd have to change a bunch of stuff. The new way it should work is that when you clone it, it should move it back to pending assignment and let you make some changes to the description of what you need on the newer version of the issue. But that way it'll make it much easier for reps to take an issue they've created in the past, clone it, and then shoot it off again to one of our teams to work. Also, what else did we do here? Oh, I know for non-core, you guys may or may not have heard this, but there have been a ton of requests coming in to Jill Adams, and so I just want to make you aware, a lot of our customers that are going for the fuel cell option, Bloom Energy is one of the main providers of that, and we did get approval for those folks, even though it's a smaller usage of gas, that they can use the GEG rate. So we're getting a lot of those requests coming in. You might hear about that from a city or any other customer. And just lastly, I want to close with a quote I came across a couple weeks ago. I thought it was kind of fitting for the times we're working on stuff and gets stressful. And basically, Kimberly Jones, she said, "Don't let people pull you into their storm. Pull them into your peace." So as you're helping out our reps and our customers, just try to use that approach when possible. And with that, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.